welcome to episode 66 of the Zeens and Roger Crochet vlogcast. Hello, how are you? You alright? I am okay. I'm more than okay. I'm feeling good today. I don't know why. Just cause. It may be because I've got new yarn. Because I am naughty and can't help myself and I have to buy more even though I say I'm not going to. I have something to do with it. The sky is blue, it is not raining, it's flipping freezing, but it's beautiful out there. So I'm in high spirits. I hope you are as well. I've got a cup of tea on the go, I've just stuffed my face with chocks. And I'm gonna crochet away the afternoon. I've spent the morning crocheting. I've done my tax return, which is just like such a rigmarole for I've made boggle money this year, but I still need to tell you, so here are the details. Well, for last year. Yeah. I'm in a whip. No, I'm in an FO. And I'm nearly finished with 2 whips. So, yeah, I have been enjoying all the crochet recently. Anyway, make yourself comfy. You've probably got yourself some crochet on the go already, and you've probably got a cup of tea or whatever it is you like to drink. I always say tea because I don't drink coffee. So thanks for joining me. If you like what you see, then you can always subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment down below, all that jazz, the usual stuff. And you can even sign up to Patreon if you so desire, because that helps me no end. It helps me to not get a Monday to Friday job. It means that I can spend 2 days minimum a week getting designs out to you. I've got lots in the pipeline. I'm very excited. I see 2019 was the year of no Crojo, I would say. But something has awakened and I've got all the ideas. They're just like coming thick and fast and I'm a little bit like, can't keep up. So, yeah, I need to get cracking. So if I can spend a couple of days a week sort of cracking on with getting these ideas actually out so that other people can make them is fab. Love it, love it, love it. So where shall I start? Well, I could start with my jumper. Don't let me forget to talk about it. But what I'm working on right now is this, which is the Just Feel Festive shawl, and it is a free design by Kalisha from the Quirky Monday Craftcast. I am using it as like an ultimate stash bust project. It is getting rid of all of my DK bits and bobs, really. Things that you might only have that much left of, and that much will do a row no problem. And I've used loads of that sort of thing, and it's sort of was really good to have made a huge dent in that kind of stash. So it feels really good. So just feel festive. No, I don't just feel festive. I feel it's not just for festive periods that I feel festive. I don't know what I'm trying to say. This is an all year round project, not just at festive times. Now, the original project, I think, sorry, oh, I'm just stretching. The original project was for minis, which I think are probably 4-ply, but held together. So why don't I just do DK? I thought. I don't know if it's to the dimensions of the original project, but I don't care because I love what I've done. I love that it's a scarfy size, and I shall be wearing it like that when it's done. So already we're here. I'm going to do maybe about 8 more rows and then I think I'm done. And then I've got to sew in a bajillion ends. Could have done fringing. Like, I could pretend that all my ends are fringing, but no. They just look like ends that haven't been sewn in yet, so I can't do that. I'm going to have to painstakingly sew all these in, and I know there are lots of people out there that find end sewing therapeutic and calming and whatever, but I'm not one of them. I hate it. It's horrible, it's boring, it's slow. That is like crochet time that I'm wasting, I feel. And with granny crochet, I don't like crocheting over ends because you can see them, so you have to do a proper job. And because I'm stupid, every row is a colour change, and that means every single row is 2 ends I have to sew in. That was clever, wasn't it? Could have done it in blocks. Could have done, but I didn't want to. I want stripes, and I want them all to be different. So if that's what I want, then I shall have to suffer the consequences. But you know, it's addictive anyway, and I want to do it, so I'm going to carry on until I'm happy, and then I'd better take care of the rest of it after. I guess I could just, like, I don't know. I find sewing in ends better when I'm in the company of other people. When I've got time on my own, I like to bash out the crochet, but actually the sewing in of ends is a lot less painful when I'm chatting away with my mates. So I could save it for a group activity or something. I don't know. So this is the first work in progress. I think I was gonna save it for like when I'd finished a lot of other stuff, but I just needed to make it. I wanted to make it. It was calling to me, and therefore I did it because I wanted to. But yeah, apart from those ends, I'm probably nearly finished. Might add tassels on the long end, the 2 short ends, but I don't know, because like if it's hanging down like, if it's hanging down like that or whatever, then this is the end, so they'll sort of be like raining down here, and they wouldn't look very, I don't know, they'd all sort of just hang a bit vertically. And you wouldn't actually get tassel effect anyway. Ouch, my knee's gone funny. I'm not sure. I might, after saying all those ends, I might not bother doing tassels. I love this project. It's so quick as well. It is so quick. I can do this like any time because it's granny, so you could do the granny blindfolded, couldn't you? It's just so speedy, so relaxing, and so it's everything you want in a mindful crochet project to sort of give you a bit of a boost. It's brilliant. Well chuffed with that, so thank you very much for that freebie. If you are even just mildly granny-fied, then give it a go. Sorry, have I shown it off enough? Okie pokey. So, well, let's talk about this. I'll put this down. Nearly finished it, as I've said. I shall miss it when it's gone. I like granny stripes better than a granny square, I find. A granny square just grows, and it grows the wrong. I find it becomes more laborious the bigger it gets, and by the time you're on those massive outside bits on a big granny square blanket, it can take like 45 minutes to do a whole round, whereas I'm impatient. I want to get to the next colour, like boom, boom, boom. With the stripe, it's a finite length. It's not like increasing in size the whole time, and each time it's just like, ugh. I prefer it for sure. Anyway, so I finished my Cloud 9. This is a pattern by Claudine of Iron Lamb. It is an Aran weight project. The main body is Stylecraft Life Aran, and the colours, oh, you can see all the lovely joins. I don't know which sleeve this is, but one of the sleeves I started doing standing trebles to join rather than doing 3 chains, which neatened it up a little bit but didn't disguise completely, because on the second row I did chain 3. For each colour there's 2 rows, and on the second of each colour I would have chained 3, but the first one would have been a standing. I don't think that's the right sleeve. I made the size small, I think, and I'm a 10 and or a 12 on my top half. And it's a top-down sweater. And you put the rib on around the neck after you've done the main bit. My tension is usually loose, so I did a small, knowing that in reality I probably wouldn't be a small if I'm at gauge. I've not done a gauge swatch. I've not measured the gauge, so I don't know if it matches. If I were to measure it, I would probably find that my tension was looser. I know that, so I make adjustments, and the adjustments pretty much being that I always make a size smaller than I need, because otherwise it'll end up too big. I'd rather not go down under the hook size sometimes, because the fabric becomes too stiff. I winged it with the patterning. There are different suggestions in the pattern for stripes. The set of stripes I've done is not in the pattern. Some of my ends are coming out. I probably shouldn't do this. I should probably just tuck them inside. I didn't sew them in very well either. So if I keep like snipping them every time they pop out, I shall probably end up with no end, and then it'll all come unravelled. But like that, I've done a terrible job because I was in such a rush. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know. I've been wearing this jumper for nearly 2 weeks straight, like every day. And you can't see, but can you see? Maybe I've done it, maybe I've forgotten. I was going to try and demonstrate that I haven't sewn in the ends. They're all just dangling loosely, but I can't find them, so maybe I did do it and forgot. I was fairly certain I hadn't sewn my ends in. Oh, I can feel them here. There are loads of loose ends in there. Who cares? No one sees the inside. But what I was going to suggest was like all of these ones that I've just pulled through now. They just need poking through to the wrong side and they'll be fine. With a few more wears, they'll probably felt together anyway and be fine. It just looks a bit. I did when I did a lot of these colour changes, I did just crochet over the ends. But I don't actually think crocheting over the ends is very good on some things. I think I've just inhaled a nut. Like I said, munching on chocks. Choco Bonds and a Snickers. It's not a Snickers, it's an Aldi version. Whatever, just as fine. Yeah, I crochet over the ends as I go, and actually I don't approve of that method. It's just I'm lazy. But they always poke through, so I'm going to have to make an effort. Maybe I'll sort out the job in a minute. There's a fingerprint on my lens. I keep staring at it. It's really annoying. I think because of that loose tension and because everything gets bigger, I am actually probably 2 or 3 rows short on each sleeve, because otherwise it would have been to here. And like, it's not blocked, so I could probably block it and then it would stretch even more. So I had to like call it short on those. But it's still cozy. Do you like it? I love it, and I love these colours. The whole palette that Paintbox does is really modern, fun, bright, cheerful, and I really like it. I went and bought more. It's not here. I'll better go and get it. Actually, I'll go and get it. I'll show you my next lot, because I want to make another one, but I'm saving myself. I need to make different garments, not just stick to Aran weight jumpers. So I have bought some more yarn. So yeah, what was I saying? Sorry, sidetracked in the excitement. As I said, the main body Stylecraft, but all of these colours are Paintbox Wool Mix Aran. The Wool Mix Aran is really nice. I haven't washed it yet, so I don't know if it's going to felt and ruin and therefore I'll fall out of love with it. Don't know. But to work with, it's lovely, and the colours are lovely. And it's not too expensive for a wool mix yarn. Every time I've bought it, it's been in a sale anyway. So that's like, there are certain like online stores that I'll only buy from when there's a discount, because I'm cheap, and because they have sales so often. Why would you buy it at full price knowing that like in a couple of weeks it'll probably be discounted anyway? So sometimes I can practice really good patience, and other times not a chance. And that is why I like a month ago said, please stop me from buying more yarn. Turns out I can't listen to myself, can't listen to anybody else. If somebody tells me to do something, I would go and do the complete opposite, even if that is me. So if I say I'm not going to buy any more yarn, then I'll just go out and buy a shed load. But then if I tried to do it so it was the other way around and I said I'm going to buy loads of yarn, I probably still would buy loads of yarn. So I'm not sure there's a way to avoid just adding more and more to my collection. However, I'm thinking about going to Unravel next month, in about a month's time, and I would like to buy lots of yarn. So I wonder if I'll find any. It's like when you go shopping for clothes and you've got like 100 quid and you know you want to buy a new pair of trousers and you know what you want to buy, a couple of tops, but you find nothing, even though you're ready to splurge. I say £100, that's not necessarily splurgy for everybody, but it's splurgy for me. And that is when I'm ready and willing to just like go, take my money. And that is when you don't find what you want. So who knows? Is that enough? I'm in a chatty mood, all right. If you don't like it, then. I feel like I spent the whole of 2019 not being in a chatty mood, like I wasn't enjoying wool and design and making stuff, and I was just doing it because I felt like I ought to, but actually I didn't want to do it, and I pushed on through it, and that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't write up all those patterns that I was supposed to. And if the inclination isn't there, it isn't there. Don't know. So we've talked about the Cloud 9 jumper, we've talked about the Just Feel Festive shawl. I have one more whip on the go that that I'd like to show you. I've got other ones like stashed away, but you've seen all those probably more than once. And so I'm not going to get them out again because there's no actual like real good progress. So let me just go and grab that yarn from the cupboard. There's every chance I'm going through a midlife crisis as well at the moment because I've just bought myself a pair of DMs and I haven't had a pair of those since I was 16. I think there's a rule about, like, if a fashion trend goes full cycle and comes back again, whoever experienced it the first time round is not allowed to go there the second time round because you're past it. I went out and bought my DMs anyway. Screw a lot of them that say that sort of nonsense. I'm not having it. I'm going to wear what I want. I might go out and buy a slip dress or something like that to wear with my DMs, and then that'll be like full. That will be full circle. Anyway, not relevant. This is the colour palette for my next jumper, and I'm thinking colour block. Don't know how, because, well, I do know how, but I'm not allowed to start it yet. I've got a couple extra as well, because obviously four balls is not going to make one jumper. I don't even know if 6 balls will do it. I might end up going out and buying even more, but I will try not to. I will try not to. I might have to top it up with grey or something. I've got more of this left, so maybe if that doesn't cut it, I will just use what I've got already, because my collection is just like ridiculous. So that potentially is another Cloud 9 jumper. However, I've got a couple more garments I want to make before that, because I need to get out my comfort zone a bit with the old jumper making. There's only so many Aran weight jumpers one can wear. I've made a lot of jumpers, and actually I'm getting better at it, which is good. That was the intention. I'm sort of looking at some of the older ones I've made, and I'm going, oh, no. And so one of them is going to end up on the compost bin, because it's 100% alpaca, so I could just chop it up and put it in the compost. But it's felted beyond like any decent sort of wear. It was going to be my camping jumper, but no. So the next project I'm going to work on is this one. I printed it out because it looks quite full on. I try to avoid printing out the patterns that I buy or download from the internet, because I don't want to waste paper. But I was looking at this going, do you know what, I'm just going to print it off, because I want to be able to write all over this one, I reckon. It's the Elysium cardigan. It's a 4-ply cardigan from the Crochet project. It was half price the other day. Can't resist a bargain. I think it's like a V-stitch cardie. I don't know if you'll get a good idea of what it is from this black and white printed picture, not sure. But for it, I have bought some drops gnawed, because it's a very cheap way of making a garment. This is like it was £2.30 a ball, and I've bought 9 balls. So it's a very cheap way of finding out whether or not this cardigan will work for me. I don't want to use fancy pants 4-ply and it not suit me, or the size isn't right or whatever. So I've bought a load of this. It's a nice green as well, but it's not as intense as I was hoping. It literally arrived in the post this morning. It just says colour 19. I don't know if it's called forest or moss. They don't put the actual name of the colour on the ball, just the number, so it's colour 19. But that will become a 4-ply cardigan. And hopefully I'll find time to make that. Hopefully I'll also find time to make the French press cardie. I'm glad this became available to buy as a single pattern because I really liked it. But when it was first released, it was part of a crochet along that you paid to join. And I didn't like that idea. I didn't really know why you were paying to join in a crochet along when it's like, I just want the pattern. I'm not sure what the benefits are paying £20 for a pattern other than a Facebook group. I'm not sure. If you've joined in an account like that, tell me what worked for you and why you were happy to spend like extra money. What was that? What did it go towards? I don't know. So before I judge it, I should probably keep my mouth shut. But the pattern anyway became available to buy individually, so that's what I wanted. I wanted the pattern, so I bought it. I don't have any yarn for it. I don't have an Aran weight quantity of the yarn I think would work really well for this, and that is something with a bit of character, so not just like a solid colour. It needs to have some interesting bits in it to showcase the stitch pattern, as Tony has designed in this one. It's because it's Tony, I've forgotten her surname, TL Yarn Crafts. This is where the pattern is from, and the yarn used is like flecky specky. I would like to do a prototype in budget yarn before I splurge on fancy, because I think if it's 5 skeins and you're using fancy wool, then that's potentially £100 or more on a cardigan, so you better jolly well be absolutely in love with it, and it better well, you know, fit. Same with the Elysium cardigan, which is why I'm using budget yarn on that one. If it doesn't fit right, then I will be glad that I didn't spend a bajillion pounds on posh yarn. And why a lot of the jumpers, a lot of the garments I make are with much cheaper wool. Because otherwise it's really expensive, and yeah, I'd be broke. I like using more high-end yarns for smaller projects, and also my own designs where I know exactly what I'm going to do with them and how and why. And quite often they will be things like shawls and scarves and whatnot, things that don't require a perfect fit. Yeah, so I'll let you know how I get on with that, but I also need to do some research into yarn for this. So I think probably there would be something like in the James C. Brett range that might be appropriate, but I haven't looked properly. I've only just I just know that that brand does a lot of like yarns with neps in, or specks or flecks. And speaking of flecks, I just spat when I said that. Yeah, and I bought a couple more patterns as well, but these are the two that are at the top of the list. So yes. My last work in progress. It's really annoying as well because I've got a finished object, but I gave it away at Christmas, and the reason it's ready to be talked about now is because it's going to be in issue 122 of Inside Crochet magazine, but I don't have the, which is out like in 2 days, and I don't have the shawl anymore. So if you see it, well, I haven't had a copy of the magazine yet, but I know lots of other people are getting it through the post already. I wish I could show you. Next time I'll show you the pictures. I didn't even take pictures myself of it, which is lacking foresight, but time. Right, I'm so near the end, so near the end. This is the shawl that I had lots of lovely suggestions for names. Oh, Jackie, you make me laugh. But I don't understand. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, what should I call it? What, Monday night? Which day of the week do you want me to call this shawl, and why? It's so kind of like random and obtuse that I am very tempted just to call it the Monday Night Shawl, just because it's funny. But no, it isn't. And the border is the inspiration for. I think I've come up with the final name. Rather a pessimistic name it is too. But that's like, when I came up with the name about a week ago, that's the kind of mood I was in. I was just like, everything sucks, it's rubbish. And because it goes, I was thinking of like borderline, and at some points I kept calling it Donkey on the Edge. It's just like, that's stupid, don't call it that. You're not that big a Shrek fan. But the border got me, and the way it got round and round. At one point I just thought it looked like a caterpillar, like caterpillar tracks from those trucks, and I was going down that route, and I was just like, that's stupid. So anyway, I'm going to call it the Road to Nowhere, because this thing just keeps going around and around and around. But it will do, you know, when it's finished, because I've got that much to do on the border, which is quite a lot, but I've done quite a lot as well. This, and I've started rather sensibly on the longer side of the shawl, because that feels psychologically so much better to complete that mega long side. Complete that first, and then you've only got to do the shorter sides. Finishing with the very shortest side, because duh, of course you're going to do that. I think I've gone wrong on this one though, because I didn't, as you'll know from previous episodes, this is the second version of the shawl. This is the DK weight version of the shawl, and I've done one version already, which is a 4-ply version, which I love. It's over there, which is what I can look over there. The border I did not write down, because I thought I would remember it, and I didn't. And so I started making it, and I got to the next, I did all of this before I got to the next border, and I repeated what I'd done on the first corner, and it wouldn't go around, and I thought, that's a bit of a conundrum. What's that about then? And I referred to the original one, and I realised that I'd done it completely differently, and it was wrong. And so there was absolutely no way I was going to frog back that whole long length. So I'm just going to leave it and force it, and tell you to do the right way, not repeat what I've done. Do as I say, and not what I've done. Is that right? Is that how you say it? Do as you... oh, I don't know. Do it... no. So we're nearly there. I have started to write up the pattern as well. So, how do you feel? And I feel much better about asking this time. How do you feel about testing it? Please email me, zeensandroger@gmail.com, if you would like to be a tester for this shawl. It is an asymmetric triangle shawl. You start at the bottom there, and you get further and further and further until you fasten off the main body, and then you work on the border. The border is just basic back loop only, UK DCs, US SCs. This is just like trebles and DCs, US SCs and double trebles, double crochets. So it's very basic stitches, but it looks really good when it's done. It's a really nice shawl. I really like it. The Road to Nowhere. Do you fancy testing? I'd be very grateful. For people that test my patterns, I cannot pay. I cannot give you yarn support, but I can give you like a handful of free patterns to say thank you. I would like to release it mid-Feb. So the idea is that provided like no emergencies happen, I'm going to write it up this weekend. And have it ready midweek next week. So if you think, hang on, I'm just trying to get my calendar up. If you can start a crochet project shawl next week, which is, let's say, by the 28th of January, and get it finished by February the 10th. That's just over 2 weeks to make a shawl. If you could do that, then give us a shout. The main part of the shawl is super quick. The border takes a bit more time, but it's kind of repetitive, kind of addictive. So usually I've made the main body for both shawls pretty sharpish, and then taken about 4-5 days just sort of doing chunks of the edging as and when I fancied it. Give us a shout. I can work on those days a little bit, so you know. And potentially I've got a couple of other designs as well that I'm looking for testers for soon. I think I'll let you know about those next week. No, next episode. Sorry. As you can tell, I'm just thinking as I go along. I don't never make decisions in advance, do I? Of course not. Things just kind of fall out my gob as and when they occur to me. But yes. Now this bigger one is a yarn eater, and the border itself is 2 balls of wool, I think. But I'm using like Stylecraft DK Life, so it's got a bit of wool content, so blocking should be okay. And I think you do need to block this shawl because these corners just need eking out a little bit just so that they lie flat. Which they do sort of do, and I reckon it'd probably fall out, but as you can see it kind of wants to sort of have a bit of a kink, I don't know. So bear that in mind also. But it's I've got 2 different ones, a 4-ply one and a DK one, and there's not much of a difference in it. Not really. Let me know. I've also got excited because a whole year behind schedule, I've come up with my summer design for the last piece of the puzzle of my summer collection, and it's completely different to what it was going to be. It was going to be a 1 skein green project, but I've used that skein in a different design, so whoops, can't use that anymore. So I bought this. I've never used this before in my life, but it feels perfectly lovely actually. It's £8 a skein, and it's Cascade Heritage. Never used Cascade before in my life, but thought I'd give it a go. And yeah, well pleased with that. This is called Dusky something or other. Dusky, don't know. Colour 5737. Dusky pink, dusky peach, dusky peach. What's another word for apricot? Dusky apricot. Don't know. This is going to be my summer shawl, and I'm very excited. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know the stitch pattern, I know the edging, I know how it's going to be written up. Oh, I just poked myself in the nose. I'm very excited. It's going to be good. In fact, I want to start on it now, but I must finish those two. I must finish my granny scarf. I must finish my shawl design, Road to Nowhere. I think it's called Road to Nowhere, unless I change my mind in the next week. Yes. So yeah, I bought that. I bought that. And I bought that, right? And so naughty. It's ridiculous. I better sell some. Can you, like, when I release those designs, if you could buy one just to support this addiction I have, it would mean the world, because otherwise I'm going to get in trouble. Bought this as well. 2 mini skeins. And these, they're twist, they got a high twist on these guys. Baby Pink and Forest, which are 75 superwash merino and 25% nylon. Beautiful. These are not high twist, these are just normal 75-25. This is called Deep Navy. Yeah. I love that blue, absolutely love it. It's beautiful. It's slightly darker than what is showing on screen, but not a lot darker. And then this one, which I think was a one of a kind. Yeah, one of a kind. And it's like a cream with some brown specks with a few blue specks. So you could argue that these two would go very nicely together, but I bought them just because I liked them. And then they had 15% off. 15% off. And they're all from Somerset Yarns. I bought them because they were discounted. I bought them because I wanted them. I'm never going to stop, am I? It's just really hard, like if I get a design in mind, like I made something last week which I'm not going to show you because actually it's the inspiration, it's how I came about the summer shawl, so I don't want to show you yet. But like I was rummaging around and I didn't really have many spare skeins of yarn that were arguably up for grabs for just sort of spontaneous makes. I was going through my stash going, no, that's for an edging for that future shawl that I'm going to make. No, that's for a shawl I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to get those stitch patterns there. I want to be able to crack that one. No, I can't use that because that's for blah blah. No, I haven't got enough of that to make this idea. You get the gist. So I just wanted some yarn that I could play with, and it worked out about £13 a skein for this, which is actually really good value. And it's sort of like I can play with this guilt-free, sort of. But what are the chances that I get a new idea and go, no, I don't want to use that. No, it's too special. I'll go and buy some Cascade Heritage. That's probably more likely. Has anybody used this? And if so, what kind of, I mean, what is your experience with it? Do you like it? It's got a fantastic range of colours. Big range of colours. But I don't know. It doesn't really work well with my I buy local yarn, because this is like within, like I have a radius sort of that reaches as far as Bristol and goes to Cornwall, and for the majority of the hand dyed yarns and yarn brands that I use, so John Arbon falls within that, as does Blacker Yarn, and lots of hand dyers as well. So, you know, I had this notion that I was just going to buy local, and or local to wherever I was, when I went shopping and just thought, oh look, there's a yarn shop over there. I wonder if they've got any souvenir yarns. That kind of malarkey. I think that is it from me. I might paint my nails now. I've done one coat of blue and I need to do another coat of blue because it's not quite perfect. So I just want to say thank you for my little Christmas present, Jackie. Thank you very much. One day I think I might come and see you in Amsterdam. When's that festival on? Maybe if I haven't spent my life savings on impulse buys of wool, then maybe I'll be able to afford to come and see you when you're in Amsterdam. Or maybe I would love to go to California and go and stalk Claudia and then eat avocados from Zeens tree in LA. I want to do that. I'll have to sell an awful lot of designs for that, but one day I'd like to do that. I don't know if I'm brave enough to have the -30 temperatures of Canada, Janine. That sounds a bit too cold for me. It was -2 here this morning and I couldn't handle that. Although, have to say, those DMs are so warm because they're wool lined and like fleece lined ones. So I could potentially combat much lower temps. I hope my tortoises are right out in the shed. They're having their winter snooze, you see. Right, I'm going to have a cup of tea, upload this to my computer, edit. I better watch it back first because I suspect I've made a few boo-boos along the way. Got a feeling I might be a bit hyper as well. So when I'm hyper, I go off on like weird tangents. I forget a lot of detail that I'm supposed to tell you. Like a lot of other podcasters will literally go into all the details about whatever it is they've made. I just sort of quite often hold it up to the screen for about 2 seconds, go, it's so pretty, and then like not give you any useful info. If you have any questions, give us a shout, let me know if I've missed anything. Rather than, you know, I'm more than happy to answer queries. So if this ends and you go, well, you didn't answer my question. I don't know what that question is unless you ask. Ask away. And I will let you know the answer. Probably. Depends what it is. If it's inappropriate, then no, it's none of your business. There you go, layer 2. So I'm just going to sit here like this for a bit, okay? So Inside Crochet magazine number 22 is out in a couple of days. Other things I've written on my list is like I've got a book review to do, but I haven't had the book in the post yet. And I'm quite excited about that. What else am I expecting? Oh no, just those 2 things, isn't it? It's like, honestly, this morning I saw the postman. I was like, please brought me those things. Please brought me those things. The postman, she brought me, the postman, it was a woman. She brought me the Cascade and the Drops Nord, but not the book and the magazine that I'm after, which I'm like, please. I was going to talk about one of my blankets that I made ages ago and I don't think I ever shared, but I can't be bothered. It's upstairs and I've probably talked enough anyway. I like that in my notes, one of my notes is the problem with garments. I don't know what that means because I would have written it about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I now no longer know what the problem with garments is. The problem with garments. Obviously I had a bee in my bonnet about crochet garments and there was a problem with it, like the things that come a cropper or what bothers me about them. I don't remember what it is. It can't be that big a deal, hey. I hope, I'm going to put my slippers on now. I got new slippers for Christmas and they are lovely, they're sheepskin. And they are like the warmest, I can't pull them on because I'll get my nail varnish stuck to all that fluff. They're really nice. They're super warm. You can even wear them outside if you choose. I'm not going to do that though because then they'll ruin quicker. Wow. Seeing as I'm now talking about slippers, I'm out of here. I will see you again next time. Hope you're doing very well. If you would like to subscribe, do that. Sort of Patreon, I will love you forever. And thank you to the new subscribers on Patreon from last episode. Love you. Thank you so much. Everybody who is my patron at the minute, or who paid a few months over the last few months since I joined, they will all get a copy of Road to Nowhere as a thank you. Better go. I'm going to have another cup of tea now and try not to ruin my nails. I've sunk down here now because I'm not sat on my feet. I'll see you again next time. Bye.